Captain America a member of Hydra all this time? How can that be so? Fans are flipping out over this idea that Captain America, the beloved hero of the Marvel Universe, the person who helped defeat the Nazis and defeat Red Skull, I'm wearing a shirt right now, and he's all of this time has been a member of Hydra? How could that be? People are going crazy. There's people trying to say that it's an affront to the Jews. There are people that are trying to say that the writer is a member of Hydra, and that's how you should explain it to your kids. And all this is going on with one issue of the comic book out. And this is what bothers me about this is because if you go to my website, I discuss something called insta canceling. And one of the things I really didn't go into all that much when it comes to insta canceling, i.e., the idea that a show that has no hope whatsoever because the audience doesn't give it a chance. Well, this is the same kind of mindset. I mean, Captain America's obviously not going to get canceled. Marvel's not going away anytime in the near future. Their movies are doing wonderfully. Their comic books are doing wonderfully. So, what am I talking about here? What I'm talking about is the idea that the reason that shows get canceled is because people won't give the writers the opportunity to allow a plot to progress before either giving up on it or judging it and moving on. So, with this case here, with Captain America, you have people who are just shocked I say, about the idea that Captain America might be a member of Hydra, or is a member of Hydra at this point in time in this universe. And the writers have come out and said, look, this is Captain America. It's not a copy, it's not an alien imposter, it is Steve Rogers. So, what are we to think? Have we been duped this entire time? Are they just throwing away a character just to be shocking? I mean, it's possible that that could happen, but my prediction about the whole thing, and I'm not the only one who believes this, but my prediction as soon as I saw it was, you know what, maybe this just might be something with time travel. Perhaps um, somebody was able to get some piece of technology that enabled them, maybe a member of Hydra, to go back in time to when Steve Rogers was born or when he was being raised, and to influence his mother to raise him to be a member of Hydra. Maybe, one of the Infinity Gems is able to manipulate time travel and have, again, somebody go back in time. I think this is, at the end of the day, it's going to involve some sort of time travel, and it's going to involve, perhaps another member, one of the good guys of the Avengers, or one of Steve Rogers' friends who's not an Avenger, or somebody figuring out a way either to prevent the time travel in the first place, or to go back in time and stop it once it happened. So, I think that's a reasonable assumption to make, and I think that the writers, given their long history, and given Marvel's long history, Marvel's probably not going to let one of their writers just completely screw over one of their beloved characters just on a whim. I'm sure they know what the story is, and they said, you know what, that might be a compelling story to tell. Let's tell it. And I know a lot of people are sick of time travel in episodes. I like time travel as a mechanism personally. I think it can bring up some compelling what ifs. Some people dislike the idea that, well, if you go back and stop the time travel from happening, then that whole bit of fiction you just sat through is meaningless. But that's not necessarily the case. I mean, I was just watching Back to the Future today, and part of that involves history getting changed multiple times. And it doesn't necessarily make the story any less compelling. I love the movie series, even though there are bits and pieces of Back to the Future 2 that leave a little bit to be desired, i.e. most of the scenes that go on in the future, or I guess now the past. But there are a lot of other compelling things like yesterday's Enterprise for Star Trek: The Next Generation. You have yesterday's Enterprise. The Enterprise C comes through the wormhole, completely changes the timeline. Guinan helps realize this. Spoiler alert, I guess. And the Enterprise C goes back through the wormhole or through whatever time travel mechanism that enabled them to, go through, traverse time and space, some sort of space-time anomaly. Well, I forget what they call it specifically on the show. But the point is that it created for a very short time an alternate universe that went away as soon as the ship went back. It didn't make the episode any less good. The episode was great. It's one of my favorites. And actually created an interesting story arc when Tasha Yar went back with the Enterprise C, and you had her daughter, Sela, wind up being an antagonist in future episodes. So the whole mechanism of time travel can be a very interesting thing. Sometimes it's overused, sometimes it's done poorly, that's I'm sure. But I'm thinking that's what we have here, and I think that people should not be as quick to judge what's going on. Let them finish their story. And if at the end of the story it stinks, well, by all means, tell them that it stinks. But don't be so quick to judge when you don't necessarily know when what their intents are, what their plans are. And I don't know what their plans are either. This is just speculation on my part. I could be wrong, but I'm also not casting aspersions on the writers either for daring to harm a character that I like, that many other people like as well. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that this is going to be a compelling story to follow. And I just would suggest that everybody else do the same. And even if it's with cautious optimism, approach it cautiously if you want. But I think at the end of the day, most of the people are going to look back at it and say, you know what, I probably overreacted on this, and this is a pretty good story, and I shouldn't have been as upset as I am. I should have given the writers the benefit of the doubt. So that's just my 2 cents on the issue. What are your thoughts? Go ahead and share. And remember to subscribe to the channel as well. More content will be coming in the next days, weeks, and months to come. So I look forward to having conversations with you about this and many other topics.